Football is a phenomenon beyond sports. As you saw in the previous video, Maracanazo had a great impact on the culture and people of Brazil. The 1954 World Cup is equally important and unique. Of course, this time for the Germans, not bitter and nightmarish like Maracanazo, but sweet and dreamy like a miracle. Switzerland as the host, Austria, Belgium, Czechoslovakia, England, France, Hungary, Italy, Scotland, Turkey, West Germany, and Yugoslavia were European representatives in this cup. From the American continent, Uruguay, the champion of the previous period, Brazil and Mexico were present, and South Korea was the only representative of the Asian continent. The format of holding the tournament was very strange, which was accompanied by many protests and was not used in the following periods. The teams were divided into 4 groups. Since only 4 games were planned for each group was divided into 2 seeded teams and 2 unseeded teams, who competed against each other, and finally, 2 teams from each group went to the elimination stage. If the points were tied at the end, a playoff game would be held to determine the ascendant team, and in case of a draw in the playoffs, the lottery would determine the team that will advance. Brazil, Yugoslavia, France, and Mexico were in the first group. The body of the Brazilian team, which consisted of the same strong team of 1950, easily beat Mexico and drew with Yugoslavia. This draw made Yugoslavia the second team to advance from the first group, and France was eliminated. Hungary, West Germany, Turkey, and South Korea were present in the second group. In the game against Hungary, Sepp Herberger took a big gamble and sent the reserve team on the field, which resulted in an 8-3 loss for West Germany. Franz Puskás, the Hungarian captain who was the best player of that time, was injured in this game and missed the next 2 games of his team. In the first game of this group, Hungary won one of the biggest wins in the history of the World Cup against South Korea. They beat South Korea 9-0. At the same time, West Germany defeated Turkey powerfully. West Germany had to play a playoff game with Turkey to advance from the group. This time they defeated Turkey with 7 goals and went to the next stage together with Hungary. Uruguay, Austria, Czechoslovakia, and Scotland were in the third group. From this group, Uruguay and Austria easily made their way to the elimination stage with 2 wins. England, Switzerland, Italy, and Belgium were in the fourth group. England secured their promotion with a draw against Belgium and a win against the host Switzerland. But Italy and Switzerland, both of which had 2 points, went to the playoff game to determine the promoted team. In this game, Switzerland beat Italy 4-1 and advanced to the quarterfinal stage. In the quarterfinals, Brazil and Hungary faced each other in a very violent game. The players of the 2 teams were constantly fighting and the police had to intervene to calm the game. At the end of the game, 42 free kicks and 2 penalties were awarded, with 4 cautions and 3 dismissals issued. The referee of the game later said about this game, which became known as the Battle of Bern, "I thought it was going to be the greatest game I'd ever see. I was on top of the world. Whether politics and religion had something to do with it I don't know, but they behaved like animals. It was a disgrace. It was a horrible match. In today's climate so many players would have been sent off, the game would have been abandoned. My only thought was that I was determined to finish it." Finally, Hungary won 4-2 and advanced to the semi-finals. Uruguay, West Germany, and Austria eliminated England, Yugoslavia, and Switzerland respectively. The first semi-final between West Germany and Austria was a one-sided game that saw West Germany destroy Austria by 6 goals to reach the final of the competition. But the second game between Hungary and Uruguay was one of the most interesting games of the Cup. The 2 teams tied 2-2 in a 90-minute, and at the extra time, Kocsis opened the game lock and took Hungary to the World Cup final with 2 goals. Hungary was a legendary team at that time. They were known as the Mighty Magyars and had won all 32 games in a row before the 1954 World Cup final, and all their players played football professionally and full-time. In contrast, West Germany, which had recently rejoined FIFA, did not have a domestic league, and as a result, Most of their players played part-time football and were considered amateurs. In addition, Hungary beat West Germany 8-3 in the group stage of the competition. The game was played on the 4th of July 1954 with 62,500 spectators at the Wankdorf Stadium, Bern. Puskás played in the final even though he was not fully ready. The game was played in heavy rain, a condition the Germans called Fritz Walter weather, because he was known to give the best show in rainy weather. The game started very stormily. In the 6th minute, Puskás scored the first goal of Hungary. 2 minutes later, Zabor scored Hungary's second goal. Although everything seemed lost for West Germany, they came back into the game. In the 10th minute, the first goal was compensated by Morlock, and the game was tied in the 18th minute by Rand. In the second half, Hungary started the game offensively and created many chances for a goal, but none of them scored. Herbert Zimmermann, the radio reporter, provided Germany's most famous football commentary. He advised that Rand should shoot from deep, and with just 6 minutes left in the match, Germany's winning goal was scored by Rand in exactly the same way. And the game ended with a 3-2 result. This victory was so far-fetched and a dream for the Germans that they refer to it as the Miracle of Bern. West Germany was the third team to win the World Championship after Uruguay and Italy. In the Switzerland World Cup, 140 goals were scored in 26 games, which is the highest average goal scored per game in the history of the World Cup. Hungarian striker Sandor Kocsis became the best scorer of the games with 11 goals, and Hungary had the best offensive line of the tournament with 27 goals. Of course, there are many rumors about this World Cup final. After the game, a large number of German players developed jaundice, which was probably caused by the use of a contaminated needle. Team members later claimed that they had been injected with glucose before the game. Later research published in 2010 by the University of Leipzig hypothesized that the players may have been injected with methamphetamine. However, doping was not illegal in 1954, and doping control was introduced by FIFA in 1966. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the Final Matches channel and share the video with your friends.